Life often presents us with lessons disguised as challenges. One of the most profound lessons we face is learning to identify deception before it can cause harm. The patterns of deception, be they in relationships, business, or personal decisions, are rarely unique. They follow predictable trajectories, and understanding these patterns can empower you to stop being fooled again. Let us begin with the essence of deception, its subtlety. Deception doesn't announce itself with a megaphone. It whispers, it flatters, and it cloaks itself in the guise of trustworthiness. But here's the secret: every act of deception leaves a trail. These trails, these patterns, are your roadmap to discernment. The first step is learning to observe behavior. Actions speak louder than words. Someone who consistently overpromises but underdelivers is showing you a pattern. When someone's words don't align with their actions, that is your first red flag. This is not a call to cynicism, but rather an invitation to heightened awareness. Trust is earned over time through consistency. Pay attention not just to what people say, but to what they do, and more importantly, how they make you feel. Now, let's consider emotional manipulation. Deceptive individuals or situations often rely on emotions to cloud your judgment. They may appeal to your fears, desires, or even your need for validation. Think of a time when you felt rushed into making a decision. Perhaps it was a high-pressure sales tactic or someone urging you to act before it's too late. This sense of urgency is a tool used to bypass your rational thinking. When you recognize this pattern, step back. Breathe. Refuse to act in haste. A legitimate opportunity or a genuine person will never fear your due diligence. Next is the concept of too good to be true. Whether it's an offer, a promise, or a person who seems flawless, remember that perfection is a mirage. The promise of easy gains or seamless relationships is often the bait on the hook of deception. Ask yourself, what am I not seeing? Always dig deeper. Authenticity is rarely perfect, and true value often comes with visible effort or flaws. Equally important is understanding the repetition of history. We've all been fooled before, and that's okay, it's part of being human. But to be fooled repeatedly by the same kind of person or situation, that is where reflection becomes essential. Look back on your experiences. What similarities do you notice between the times you were deceived? Was it a certain type of personality you trusted too easily? A recurring promise you fell for? Patterns are teachers, and every time you connect the dots of past experiences, you arm yourself with insight for the future. We must address confirmation bias. This is the human tendency to see what we want to see, to believe what aligns with our hopes rather than reality. Deceptive individuals often exploit this bias by telling you exactly what you want to hear. To counter this, develop a habit of asking tough questions. Seek evidence, not just reassurance. Don't be afraid to verify. True integrity welcomes scrutiny, deception avoids it. Recognizing patterns of deception requires both vigilance and humility. It demands that you embrace self-awareness, trust your instincts, and value your own judgment. Yes, it may feel uncomfortable at times. Doubt can be unsettling. But remember, doubt is a tool. It sharpens your perception and protects you from the pain of misplaced trust. The beauty of this journey is that the more you recognize these patterns, the stronger you become. Over time, you'll find that the people and opportunities that remain in your life are those of genuine worth. Deception will lose its power over you, and with that, you will gain freedom, the freedom to trust wisely, to choose authentically, and to live unencumbered by the weight of being fooled again. Trust is the foundation of any relationship, whether it's with others or with yourself. But the most important trust you'll ever build is the trust you place in your own instincts, judgment, and decisions. When you trust yourself, you create an unshakable foundation that no manipulation, deception, or betrayal can erode. It is this self-trust that empowers you to never be fooled again. To understand self-trust, we must first address its opposite, self-doubt. Have you ever found yourself hesitating, second-guessing your intuition because someone else seemed more confident or persuasive? Have you ignored a nagging feeling that something was wrong, only to later discover you were right? These moments are not failures, they are lessons. Each time you doubt yourself in the face of someone else's assertions, you give away a piece of your power. Reclaiming that power begins with listening to yourself and believing in the wisdom you already possess. Your instincts are not random. They are the result of millions of years of evolution, finely tuned to detect threats, opportunities, and nuances in your environment. That uneasy feeling you sometimes get? It's your inner alarm system, alerting you to something that doesn't align with your values or safety. Often we ignore this alarm because we fear confrontation, or we want to give someone the benefit of the doubt. While kindness and patience are virtues, they should not come at the expense of your own well-being. Trusting yourself means acknowledging that your instincts are valid, even when they go against what others want you to believe. Let's delve into why self-trust is so crucial. When you trust yourself, you stop relying on others to validate your decisions. This doesn't mean you stop seeking advice or learning from others, but it does mean that the final authority lies within you. Think about the times you felt most confident in your choices. How liberating was that? Self-trust allows you to stand firm even when others attempt to sway you. It is a shield against manipulation, because those who seek to deceive often prey on insecurity and uncertainty. When you are rooted in self-trust, their efforts fall flat. Building self-trust isn't an overnight process, it's a practice. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen it is through reflection. After every decision, big or small, take time to evaluate the outcome. Did it align with your initial instincts? If not, what influenced you to change course? By identifying these moments, you'll begin to see patterns in how your intuition serves you. Over time, you'll learn to distinguish between genuine gut feelings and fear-driven impulses. This clarity will become your compass, guiding you through life's complexities. Another key aspect of self-trust is accountability. Trusting yourself doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes. On the contrary, it means accepting that mistakes are part of growth. When you trust yourself, you take responsibility for your choices without harsh self-criticism. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, you focus on what you've learned and how you'll approach similar situations differently in the future. This mindset transforms mistakes into stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Self-trust also involves setting boundaries. When you trust yourself, you honor your own needs and limits. You're less likely to say yes out of obligation or guilt and more likely to protect your time, energy, and resources. This doesn't make you selfish, it makes you self-aware. Trusting yourself means understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup. When you prioritize your well-being, you're better equipped to show up for others authentically and effectively. Trusting yourself requires courage. It means standing firm in your convictions, even when others disagree. It means listening to your intuition, even when it's uncomfortable. And it means believing in your ability to navigate challenges, even when the path ahead is uncertain. This courage doesn't come from external validation, it comes from within. It's the quiet confidence that says, I've faced uncertainty before and I'll do it again. When you trust yourself above all, you become unshakable. You no longer rely on the approval of others to feel secure, and you no longer fall prey to those who seek to undermine your confidence. Instead, you walk through life with clarity, strength, and resilience. Trust yourself, and you'll find that the world becomes a less intimidating, more empowering place. You'll discover that the answers you seek have been within you all along. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools we have as human beings. It allows us to process our experiences, learn from our mistakes, and prepare for the future. Yet, in the fast-paced world we live in, we often overlook this vital practice. We move from one event to the next without pausing to assess what went right, what went wrong, and what could be improved. This lack of reflection leaves us vulnerable to being misled or making the same mistakes repeatedly. To stop being fooled again, we must harness the power of reflection as a means of growth and resilience. At its core, reflection is about intentional awareness. It's the act of stepping back and taking a critical look at the events, decisions, and relationships in your life. This isn't about dwelling on the past or wallowing in regret. Rather, it's about extracting valuable insights from your experiences so that you can make better decisions moving forward. Reflection helps you connect the dots between cause and effect, enabling you to see patterns that may not have been obvious in the moment. The first step in effective reflection is creating space for it. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to push aside time for introspection. However, just as we make time for physical exercise or professional development, we must also prioritize mental clarity. This could mean setting aside a few minutes each day to journal, meditate, or simply sit quietly and think. The key is consistency. Regular reflection allows you to build a habit of self-awareness, ensuring that you're always learning from your experiences. When reflecting, start by asking yourself powerful questions. For example, what did I learn from this situation? What signs or red flags did I overlook? What would I do differently if faced with a similar situation? These questions encourage you to dig beneath the surface, uncovering the lessons hidden within your experiences. Don't shy away from uncomfortable truths. Growth often comes from confronting the areas where we fell short. One of the most valuable aspects of reflection is recognizing patterns in your behavior. Deceptive individuals and situations often exploit predictable responses. Perhaps you're overly trusting of people who appear charming, or maybe you struggle to say no in high-pressure situations. By identifying these tendencies, you can take proactive steps to address them. For example, if you realize you often rush into decisions without proper research, you can make a commitment to slow down and seek additional information in the future. Reflection also helps you build emotional resilience. When you reflect on a past disappointment or betrayal, you gain perspective. You realize that, while the experience may have been painful, it didn't define you. This understanding strengthens your ability to face similar challenges with greater confidence and less fear. Reflection turns setbacks into stepping stones, allowing you to move forward with wisdom and grace. Another important aspect of reflection is distinguishing between what is within your control and what is not. Sometimes being deceived or misled isn't a result of our own actions, but of circumstances beyond our influence. In these cases, reflection helps you let go of unnecessary guilt and focus on what you can change. It shifts your mindset from victimhood to empowerment, reminding you that while you can't control everything, you can always control how you respond. Reflection is also a powerful tool for building self-trust. As you reflect on your past decisions, you'll notice that your instincts were often correct, even if you didn't act on them. This realization reinforces your confidence in your ability to navigate challenges. It reminds you to listen to that inner voice and trust your judgment, even when others try to sway you. Reflection fosters gratitude and mindfulness. By looking back on your journey, you'll not only see the mistakes but also the victories, the times you made the right choice, overcame adversity, or learned something valuable. This balanced perspective keeps you grounded and hopeful, reminding you that growth is a continuous process. Harnessing the power of reflection requires discipline, honesty, and a willingness to learn. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Through reflection, you become better equipped to recognize and avoid deception, make thoughtful decisions, and build a life rooted in authenticity and self-awareness. When you take the time to reflect, you take control of your narrative, ensuring that your future is shaped by wisdom rather than repetition. In doing so, you not only stop being fooled again, but also pave the way for a more empowered and fulfilling life. Self-worth is one of the most powerful shields a person can have against deception and manipulation. It is the foundation upon which confidence, resilience, and clarity are built. When you value yourself deeply and authentically, you set a standard for how others treat you and what you're willing to tolerate. This internal strength not only protects you from being fooled, but also empowers you to navigate life with a sense of purpose and dignity. Building self-worth begins with understanding that it comes from within. Too often, people seek validation externally, relying on others' opinions, approval, or praise to feel valuable. While external validation can feel rewarding, it is fleeting and fragile. The moment someone with ill intentions withdraws their approval or uses it as a bargaining chip, your sense of worth is threatened. True self-worth, however, is unshakable because it isn't tied to anyone else. It's about knowing your intrinsic value as a human being, regardless of external circumstances. One way to cultivate self-worth is by acknowledging your strengths and achievements. Take time to reflect on the challenges you've overcome, the skills you've developed, and the unique qualities you bring to the table. This isn't about arrogance or comparison, it's about appreciating yourself for who you are. When you regularly remind yourself of your capabilities, you create a strong sense of identity that others cannot easily undermine. Equally important is addressing the inner critic, the voice inside that questions your abilities or worthiness. Deceptive people often exploit this inner doubt, planting seeds of insecurity to make you more susceptible to their influence. By recognizing and challenging negative self-talk, you can weaken its hold over you. Practice replacing self-criticism with self-compassion. Instead of saying, "I can't believe I was so foolish," reframe it as, "I made a mistake and I'm learning from it." This shift in perspective reinforces your self-worth and helps you move forward without carrying unnecessary shame. Boundaries are another essential component of self-worth. When you value yourself, you're less likely to allow others to take advantage of your time, energy, or emotions. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away, it's about creating a space where mutual respect can thrive. For example, if someone repeatedly disregards your needs or tries to pressure you into something, a strong sense of self-worth will give you the confidence to say no without guilt or fear. It's a declaration that your well-being matters and that you won't compromise it to please others. Self-worth also involves recognizing and avoiding toxic relationships. People who seek to deceive or manipulate often gravitate toward those who doubt their value, as they are easier to control. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, you're better equipped to spot these individuals and walk away before they can cause harm. You understand that you don't need to prove your worth to anyone or earn their respect, it's already inherent in who you are. Taking care of yourself is another powerful way to reinforce your self-worth. This includes both physical self-care, such as maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and emotional self-care, like nurturing your passions and interests. When you invest in yourself, you send a message to your subconscious that you are deserving of time, effort, and love. This internal message becomes a guiding principle in your interactions with others, ensuring that you attract and maintain relationships that reflect your value. Another critical aspect of self-worth is embracing imperfection. Nobody is flawless, and striving for perfection often leads to unnecessary pressure and self-doubt. Instead of fixating on your shortcomings, celebrate your progress and resilience. Each setback you've faced has taught you something valuable, and each victory, no matter how small, has contributed to your growth. Recognizing this journey allows you to see yourself as a work in progress, deserving of respect and care at every stage. A strong sense of self-worth also enables you to take risks and pursue opportunities without fear of failure. When you know your value, setbacks don't define you. Instead, they become learning experiences that contribute to your personal and professional growth. This mindset not only helps you avoid being fooled, but also allows you to thrive in all areas of life. Mental strength is one of the most crucial assets in life, especially when it comes to navigating challenges, resisting manipulation, and standing firm in your values. To forge a mind of steel is to cultivate a mindset that is unyielding in the face of pressure, clear in the face of confusion, and courageous in the face of adversity. This inner strength not only protects you from being fooled, but also empowers you to thrive in every aspect of life. The journey to developing mental strength begins with self-awareness. You must first understand your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, how they influence your decisions, and how they might be exploited by others. People often fall victim to deception because they are unaware of their vulnerabilities. For example, a desire for approval can lead to overly trusting behavior, or a fear of conflict can cause you to ignore red flags. By identifying these tendencies, you can address them directly and prevent them from being used against you. Discipline is another cornerstone of mental strength. A strong mind is not swayed by fleeting emotions or momentary desires. It remains focused on long-term goals and values, even in the face of temptation or distraction. Cultivating discipline requires consistent effort, but the rewards are profound. When you practice self-control, whether it's resisting the urge to react impulsively or staying committed to a plan, despite obstacles, you build the resilience needed to withstand external pressures. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, and it is an essential component of mental strength. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way, but how you respond to them defines your character. A resilient mind does not view failure as a stopping point, but as a stepping stone. It learns from mistakes, adapts to change, and keeps moving forward. This adaptability is what allows you to thrive, even in the most unpredictable circumstances. Another key aspect of forging a mind of steel is cultivating emotional intelligence. This means being attuned to your emotions and those of others while maintaining the ability to regulate your responses. Manipulative individuals often use emotional tactics such as guilt, flattery, or intimidation to sway your decisions. By recognizing these tactics and managing your emotions, you can respond with clarity and composure instead of being led astray. Emotional intelligence also enables you to build healthier relationships, as it fosters empathy, understanding, and effective communication. Mental strength also involves a commitment to personal growth. A strong mind is a curious mind, one that is open to learning, unafraid to question assumptions, and eager to expand its horizons. This growth mindset not only enhances your knowledge and skills, but also reinforces your ability to think critically. Critical thinking is your best defense against deception, as it allows you to evaluate information objectively, question its validity, and make informed decisions. Equally important is the ability to say no. A strong mind is not afraid to set boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable. It understands that saying no to something that doesn't align with your values or goals is an act of self-respect. Whether it's declining a manipulative request or walking away from a toxic situation, this ability to stand firm protects your time, energy, and integrity. Forging a mind of steel also requires cultivating courage. This doesn't mean the absence of fear, but rather the willingness to act despite it. Fear is a natural response to uncertainty, but when left unchecked, it can paralyze you or lead you to make decisions out of desperation. Courage allows you to confront your fears, face challenges head-on, and remain true to yourself even when the stakes are high. Another critical element of mental strength is optimism, not blind positivity, but a realistic belief in your ability to overcome obstacles. This mindset fuels perseverance, enabling you to keep pushing forward even when the road gets tough. It also helps you find meaning in adversity, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. Lastly, forging a mind of steel involves building a support system of trusted allies. While mental strength is deeply personal, it doesn't mean facing the world alone. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift, challenge, and inspire you reinforces your resilience and provides perspective during difficult times. To forge a mind of steel is to embrace a life of intentionality and purpose. It is the daily practice of choosing strength over weakness, clarity over confusion, and courage over complacency. When you cultivate this mental fortitude, you become unshakable. You are no longer easily influenced or misled because your foundation is built on self-awareness, discipline, and unwavering principles. With a mind of steel, you face life with confidence, navigate its complexities with grace, and remain steadfast in your pursuit of truth and authenticity.